Hola amigos, I'm Dave Evans. Coming up on this half hour of $9.99, we're gonna experience lots of different Latin American flavors without ever leaving the city. So sit right there because it's all coming up right now. Welcome to $9.99, the show that takes you to great spots around the city that are either free or inexpensive, but are always under 10 bucks. Today we're checking out some Latino hot spots here in East Harlem, so get ready because there's lots to see and do, and we're doing it on the cheap.
In the next half hour, we're going to experience a neighborhood rich in culture and steeped in Latino history. To residents of East Harlem, it's simply called El Barrio. East Harlem borders the Harlem River to the north, the East River to the east, East 96th Street to the south, and 5th Avenue to the west, and can be reached taking the A, C, number 1, or the 6 trains. At the heart of East Harlem is 116th Street, also known as Little Mexico, where you'll see stores proudly displaying the Mexican flag and vendors selling tacos, tamales, and gigantic tortillas. Other common sites, the Graffiti Hall of Fame on 106th Street and St. Cecilia's Church on East 105th Street.
Today I won't only be exploring the Mexican flavors you find in the area, but everything that makes this neighborhood so culturally diverse and rich. And with each stop I make today, it won't cost more than $9.99. Guaranteed.
Back in the 17th century, East Harlem's fertile land drew Dutch and German settlers. But by 1835, with the newly constructed New York and Harlem Railroad, which provided cheap transportation and a quick connection along Park Avenue from City Hall to the Harlem River, the area became a mix of Irish, Germans, and African Americans. After the World Wars, a wave of Puerto Rican immigrants began to move in. Though Puerto Ricans still call East Harlem home, they are giving ground to the latest immigrants from Mexico.
Our first stop today on our tour of East Harlem takes us to an urban oasis that truly gives meaning to the word community.
In between apartment buildings and congested streets, you'll find a quiet escape from city life. The Modesto Flores Hope Community Garden is located at Lexington Avenue, just north of 104th Street. This once abandoned lot was the vision and labor of love of a building super named Modesto Flores who worked nearby. Here you'll find beautiful plants, flowers, and trees, along with a pond and a reading area. The garden is famous for its cultural events such as the Poetas con Café, and the non-profit organization Hope Community and its volunteers help keep the gardens beautiful and clean. So I'm here with Roger Caban, the founder of Poetas con Café, and that happens back here.
This is part of the Modesto Flores garden. So this part of the yard we refer to as the Pedro Pietri Poetry Yard, in memory of Pedro Pietri, who was a very well-known Puerto Rican poet. We usually have 2 invited artists, and we give them a stipend, and they each do about 40 minutes or half an hour each. And then at the end of the session, we have what we call an open mic. Some people call it a poetry slam, where if you have a touch of the poet, you can come up and recite. We've had Chinese poets come up here, Indian poets.
So the community loves it and gets real involved with the program.
And yeah, it's one of the ways of Hope giving something back to the community.
I'm here with Carmen Vasquez, the Deputy Executive Director of Hope Community. So tell me a little bit about Hope Community.
It was founded in 1968 by some tenants in the community. This is at a time where the landlords were abandoning their buildings and there was a need for affordable housing in the community. So this group of people got together. There's a Spirit of East Harlem mural that you see here on 104th Street on the southwest corner. And the faces that you see there are the faces of the people that lived in this community. And those were, a lot of them were the founders of Hope Community.
That garden is going now on about 35 years. And at one time it was just a vacant lot, abandoned vacant lot. And the superintendent for these buildings, which is a Hope building, his name was Modesto Flores. And he started this on his own. And he cultivated this garden, and eventually we officially adopted it.
That must make it one of the earlier community gardens around the city.
Yeah. This is Tierra Hope.
Here to stay.
I like to call it Tierra Boricua. Puerto Ricans were the first major population of East Harlem. It's still a major population now. It's increased. We have now a big Dominican population. We have a big Mexican, so there's an offshoot of all sorts of Hispanics.
Real diversity example of New York.
This part of New York is known as the Big Mango. It's not the Big Apple.
Mango.
This is the Big Mango.
That's awesome.
El Mango's Grande.
You'll walk around here from 103rd Street to 106th Street. You see the beautification of the area, whether it be murals, whether it be gardens. I am ready to embark in putting plants on all 104th Street on the tree pits.
So tell me a little bit how the community has taken to projects like this.
They just love it.
The most important thing about a community garden is to have the community involved. Without the community's help, these gardens wouldn't survive. Today we have kids here from Central Park East 2 School in New York City, and we're gonna plant some flowers. If you'd like to check out this beautiful city getaway and other upcoming cultural events, here's all the info you'll need. Next up, we're off to a museum that celebrates the cultures of Spain, Portugal, and Latin America. Take a look at this.
The Hispanic Society of America is located at Audubon Terrace on Broadway between 155th and 156th Streets. It's the only museum and research library in the United States dedicated to the appreciation and study of the art and culture of the Iberian Peninsula and Latin America. The Society exhibits a complete range of artwork with more than 800 paintings and 6,000 rare books and manuscripts. They have masterpieces by Goya, El Greco, and Velázquez, just to name a few. It's considered the most comprehensive collection of Spanish fine art in the world outside of Spain. The Hispanic Society of America also boasts 1,000 sculptures dating back to the first millennium BC and showcases over 6,000 pieces of decorative items, such as magnificent ceramics, glass, furniture, and textiles.
We're here now with Dr. Margaret Connors McQuaid, the Assistant Director of the Hispanic Society of America. When you first walk into this beautiful museum and research library, you say to yourself, first off, how did I not know this was here? And what is the story behind it?
The Hispanic Society was founded by a man named Archer Milton Huntington in 1904, and his interest was really to cover all aspects of the Hispanic world. The word Hispanic at that time meant from Spain, and so he wanted to include not only Spain, but also the whole Hispanic-speaking world. We have sculpture from Mexico and Latin America. We have silver, furniture. It really covers the whole depth of the art that's produced throughout not only Spain, but also Latin America, the Philippines, Portugal, and Portuguese Goa.
Was he trailblazing at the time by creating this?
No, I think he was a pioneer. And certainly to make this collection available to the public and free to the public, he certainly was a pioneer.
What can a visitor to the Hispanic Society expect?
The first thing, they walk into this incredible space.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it
really
really
think
is incredible.
It is one of the most impressive public spaces in New York
Absolutely.
City. And the first thing that they see when they enter is this really incredible painting by Goya. It's actually one of a few that we have in the collection, but this portrait is of the 13th Duchess of Alba, who was considered by her contemporaries one of the most beautiful women of her time. During the 18th century, a French visitor who came to Spain said that every hair in her head elicits desire. And certainly Goya was...
That's quite a compliment.
That's quite a compliment. Certainly Goya was equally enchanted with this woman, as can be seen by the inscription on the bottom of the painting that says Solo Goya. Also, if you look at her fingers, she has two rings. One says Goya and one says Alba. People love to romanticize about the relationship between the Duchess of Alba and Goya, but certainly this painting doesn't necessarily demonstrate that. It demonstrates actually that Goya was enchanted by her, but not necessarily that the feeling was mutual.
Reciprocated, right.
One of our great strengths is the ceramics collection. It ranges from the 13th through the early 20th century, and that includes some of the most important works of luster pieces from Spain.
Tell us why exactly this pottery collection is so important.
Well, the ceramics collection really shows the wealth of the types of ceramics that were produced in Spain and in the New World.
Could you tell us more about what's in this room to the side?
The emphasis here is really on the colonial arts. We have here a relief from Mexico. It's late 16th, early 17th century of Santiago.
I noticed all the beautiful chest of drawers and even a pull-down desk that you have here. Tell us more about these pieces.
Right, well, what you see are examples of different types of furnishings, some of which you would find in a typical home. Some of them, like this piece, for example, is from Goa, which was a colony of Portugal in the 17th century when it was made.
Now, I notice also that you have a lot of silver pieces that look like religious items.
Well, the silver collection really is a mix. Some is religious and processional pieces, such as the monstrance, the big, large piece, which actually is one of the first pieces that Huntington bought for the Hispanic Society, I think in 1906. And that is actually a signed piece by Cristobal Becerril. And there are also their secular pieces. We have a picture from Portugal, a plate, as well as some crosses with beautiful enamel designs.
Another wing of the society is the research library. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Well, there's two parts of the research library. There's the Department of Rare Books and Manuscripts, where we hold our collection of documents and printed books that range from the 11th century through the 18th century. And the modern library starts in the 19th century and goes to the present day. We actually have two copies of the first edition of Don Quixote. We also have a first edition copy of La Celestina, some of the great
some of the most
books,
important fiction works of all time.
Exactly. Sorolla Gallery will find is a series of canvases, 14 large canvases that comprise the vision of Spain. And they were commissioned by the founder, Archer Milton Huntington, in 1911.
Now remember, the Hispanic Society of America is open every day except for Monday, and it's completely free. For more information, jot this down.
Our next stop in East Harlem is a terrific Mexican restaurant that can satisfy any appetite, even on the tightest budget.
Cafe Ole Inn is located in the heart of East Harlem at 339 108th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenues. This little neighborhood spot's got some great food. It's a true family-owned restaurant that's been around for 15 years. And despite the stiff competition from all the other authentic Mexican restaurants, bodegas, and street vendors, Cafe Ole Inn gives them all a run for their money. The cafe may be a tiny, easy-to-miss hole in the wall, but it's warmly and beautifully decorated in a typically Mexican way. Its menu is short and includes mostly simple dishes like tortas, burritos, and quesadillas, all at excellent prices. And it's where you can spot chef and owner Juan Perez cooking these authentic dishes with his sons Orlando and Israel. This awesome little out-of-the-way spot is definitely worth the trip. So we're back in the kitchen now with Orlando and Israel Perez. It's a nice family operation here at Cafe Ole Inn. Their father Juan is also in the kitchen a lot of the times. But guys, tell me about what we're going to be making today.
Today we're going to be making a Cemita, which is a Puebla-style dish.
Because I've never heard of a Cemita, personally. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, like they only make that like in Puebla. Like you can't go to like, let's say Cancun or anything like that. And that's not their specialty.
You
know,
won't
like
find it on the main strip. You got to go off to where the locals eat.
Like a Philly cheesesteak or something like that. You know, in Philadelphia.
Now this isn't your typical size hamburger bun or sandwich bun. That's some serious bread.
Yeah, this is what they use like in Puebla, and it also comes with. It's called papalo. It's a herb. It has a pretty strong flavor. I guess it's similar to like the epazote and like cilantro.
Yeah.
I guess it's in their family.
So what do we got going here?
Okay, this is just carne enchiladas.
And that's been marinating in something good,
yeah,
huh?
It's red sauce.
Okay.
That my father made, so...
Secret recipe?
Yeah.
So what's in it? No, you're not going to tell me, huh? So what cut of meat is that?
It's pork.
You know, it's like, this is almost like a smaller version of a muffaletta loaf. Have you ever heard of a muffaletta? In New Orleans, they make this really big Italian sandwich, and the bread is shaped like this, but this is smaller, yeah. So this is like a Mexican muffaletta, except completely different.
Here in New York, there's like a lot of Mexicans that come from Puebla. So we found like making Cemitas would be
a little taste at home.
Yeah.
That's awesome, yeah.
They actually call New York Puebla York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because especially amongst the Mexicans, like they call it Puebla York because it's such an abundance of like people from Puebla.
Black beans?
Yes, black beans is really typical in like Mexican sandwiches to put bean spread.
Nice.
This is the papalo.
Okay, the papalo. A little avocado. This is cheese.
Yeah.
What kind of cheese is this?
This is the Oaxaca cheese.
Oaxaca cheese. It almost looks like a shredded fresh mozzarella, but actually kind of tastes a little bit like mozzarella, but a little chewier. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good cheese. This is like a 5-inch sandwich. That thing. Woo. That's almost the size of my head's really big, so it's not almost the size of my head, but you could imagine it's close. You know a sandwich is well made when you could see those layers perfectly. We got the beans on the bottom, the pork, the lettuce, the chipotle, the papalo, am I saying that right? The papalo, the avocado, tomato, the Oaxaca cheese, the mayo on top. Come on, look at this thing. I cannot wait any longer. And now for the all-important taste test. Up high. Up high.
For a sandwich this size, $8 is a tremendous bargain.
Now, if you want to experience this authentic Mexican cuisine, make sure to take down this information.
Our final destination has brought us slightly west from East Harlem, but if you happen to be in the neighborhood, this next one will have you all dolled up.
It's the Madame Alexander Doll Company, located at 615 West 131st Street between 12th Avenue and Broadway. Madame Beatrice Alexander Berman founded this doll factory and hospital over 85 years ago. The daughter of a doll maker, she grew up at her father's Lower East Side Doll Hospital, the first one in America. Her love and fascination with dolls inspired the first collection of expertly crafted, character-inspired dolls. From the very first design, the American Red Cross doll, to Scarlett O'Hara and Shirley Temple, they continue today with characters such as Bree, Edie, Gabrielle, Lynette, and Susan from, you guessed it, Desperate Housewives.
So we're here in the Madame Alexander showroom, which displays many of their dolls. They put out about 500 a year. This showroom has about 300 from the 2010 line. And to show us and tell us all about it is Tasha Sidibe. Whoa, this is a lot of dolls. So what do we got?
This is usually the wow factor here when we do our tours. People come in and they don't expect to see so many different styles of dolls that we do.
Do any stick out as being the more popular ones, or is there a collector for every different type?
There is a collector for every different type, but there is one that most people are drawn to, which is our Wendy doll. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, I'd love to see the Wendy doll.
Okay. So this is our Wendy doll.
Wendy, okay, now, just looking at it real quick, it looks a lot like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
Well, most of Madame Alexander's faces are named, and this particular face was made in the 1950s. It was actually named after Madame Alexander's granddaughter. And you can always recognize a Wendy doll by her pout. She always looks like she's puckering up chins.
Okay, so no matter what the Wendy doll's wearing, it's always a Wendy.
It's always a Wendy doll.
What are some of the other notable dolls that you have?
Sissy is our largest fashion doll. Madame Alexander started making Sissy dolls in 1955. These particular Sissy dolls were done by a guest designer by the name of Jason Wu, which is probably most famous for doing Michelle Obama's inauguration dress.
Oh, cool, right. Like the Wendy dolls, the Sissy dolls all have the same face.
All of the Sissy dolls have the same face.
So every tour starts here in the showroom?
Yes, and then they move on to the next.
Neat. Well, I'm looking forward to moving on to the next part.
Okay, I'll take you.
All right.
This is the party room where we host events. such as tea parties and birthday parties.
Cool.
For all ages.
There's a lot of dolls in here too.
We have some dolls that have won awards behind this glass case right over here.
Cool.
We have some classics such as Little Women, the boy from A White Christmas.
Oh, cool.
Madame Alexander actually made the first plastic doll.
Well, where do we go from here?
Well, I want to take you into the yellow room. This is part of the official tour. And this is a special room because this used to be Madame Alexander's office when she was alive. We have a total of 7 designers, and most of them have gone to school for either fashion design, costume design, or even toy design. A lot of people don't know you can get your degree in toy design.
I might have gotten my degree in toy design had I known that existed.
It's
That's pretty cool.
very fun, but designers have to do a lot of work.
Sure.
They have to do research. They also have to find their own material as well.
So it's not all fun and games.
It's not all fun
But
and
it is
games,
a lot of fun
but
and games, probably.
At the same time, it is.
That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So what's the story behind that?
Well, that is a marionette of Marie Antoinette. It's one of a kind. We did it for a French parade called the Bastille Day Parade. And right now it's here watching over all the designers. She's pretty authentic. Her head actually comes off.
Comes off?
Yes.
What's authentic about a head that comes off?
Marie Antoinette was
Right.
beheaded.
I forgot the beginning of the story.
This is one of our designers right now. Her name is Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi,
I'm Dave.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I see you have a few dolls out here.
Yes, I was actually just working on some jewelry for these Jason Wu fashion dolls. We actually go out shopping for jewelry and then we cut it down to size and we reconstruct it to make very tiny earrings and bracelets.
So do you spend a lot of time in the garment district, like hunting for things? And
Yep, actually I just bought this this fur downtown last week. It's fake fur, very expensive. So everything is totally to scale. This is just a prototype. It's actually plaster. We're working with this for size.
So how long does it typically take from concept through finished design?
We work with Wicked. We've done several different costumes from that show, so sometimes we'll go re-see the show, really pay attention to certain scenes of the play, and then come back and recreate a costume. If you have the idea and you have all the materials here, you could probably do a doll in about 2 days, 3 days.
I learned quite a few things about doll design. Tasha, we're on to the next place.
We're going into sewing and production.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Elizabeth.
You're welcome.
See ya. Tasha, after you.
Thank you. This is sewing and production, and this particular area is the cutting table.
Okay.
And at the cutting table, all the patterns are cut, and the head designers usually sit here and they drape, and they create their patterns. Now, they make their prototypes. The first prototype is copied, and those are the samples. This is our sewing area right here, and these are our seamstress. Right now, everyone is working on something a little bit different, and as you can see, they use new sewing machines, and they also use older sewing machines.
Look at this sewing machine.
This is a classic Singer
that's awesome.
sewing machines. This is a machine that's almost 100 years old.
Wow.
And Ruby is going to make a hat. He can make a hat in less than a minute and up to 400 in one day.
400 in one day. No kidding. You could, I could see 400 a day. A little small for my big head, but.
This is our doll hospital.
Doll hospital.
Where we fix dolls that have been loved so much.
You fix dolls?
Yes, we do. We fix dolls, any type, Only thing we don't fix is porcelain.
Okay.
We don't have porcelain parts. They're all plastics. We do dolls from the 40s to the 90s to 2000.
What typically breaks first on a doll?
The rubber band.
Wait, so all these parts connect by one rubber band? Two rubber bands.
The arms has one.
Okay.
And the head has this one.
Okay.
We'll stretch it out to reach the legs.
What else do we do?
We root hair. Isn't she pretty? The lady said, I want new hair, I want new eyes with cheeks.
That's 35 years old. That looks brand new to me.
35, not new. 35 years.
Wow.
40 years old, 55 years old, we do it.
Have you been working here more than 10 years?
54.
54 years you've been working here, but you don't look a day older than 54.
Thank you. I knew Madam, and thank you. As a woman, very caring, love her workers, but you better do your work, otherwise you're in big trouble.
Because she's signing those checks, you had
Not even that.
No.
She wants you to do, she loves her dolls.
So now I'm going to show you how the eyes work inside of a doll's head.
Okay. Based on my expertise, Tasha, these puckered lips and the overall size of the doll would lead me to believe that this is a Wendy doll.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Correct.
All right.
Get an A plus.
Yes.
This is the inside of Wendy's head.
Oh.
And these are her.
Part of life, doll life.
These are her eyes.
Oh.
And they're not blinking yet, but I'll show you how they blink.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it sits right in. Mm-hmm. And it won't stay in place until I put another piece in, which is called a bridge.
Okay.
And I put that